What's up, everybody? This is Ben. I just wanted to come in real quick before the episode starts and let you know a couple things. First off, I switched over to a new computer before we recorded this episode, and I forgot to check that I was plugged into the correct microphone, and I wasn't. So you're going to hear my audio through the computer's microphone, which isn't ideal, but I hope you'll stick with it and listen to the episode. It's still a lot of fun. We had a really good time with his Oscars movie draft, and I think it's worth putting up with my crappy audio for a little bit. Also, while we were doing the intros and letting everyone promote their podcast, we did have some issues with Amanda's audio. She is from the SIP list. We highly recommend this podcast. They do a top 5 episode every week while enjoying some adult beverages. And we really love the show. And I just want to make sure people knew about it because the audio didn't make it into this episode at the beginning. But I think she got some plugs in at the end. Either way, check out the SIP list. I apologize about my audio, but I hope you enjoy this week's episode. And we will be back next week to wrap up our female gaze round with You Were Never Really Here. Enjoy. Welcome to 3 Films and a Podcast, the show where destiny brought together 3 friends to enhance each other's cinematic journey by watching 3 new movies in a series of themed rounds. There is no claim of ownership on any film footage used in this episode, as all film footage is owned in its entirety by the copyright holders. And just like every car in Too Fast, Too Furious, this podcast contains spoilers. Enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 3 Films and a Podcast. My name is Ben Lawhorn. I'm coming to you from Salt Lake City, Utah. With me, as always, is Tyler Beck.
Hello, I am also in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Holding down Salt Lake. Unfortunately,
Represent.
Matt could not be here. He's busy just like forging all the envelopes. So Maggie Gyllenhaal wins everything at the Oscars, which we're very much looking forward to. But yeah, for those of you who are new to the show, welcome to the Movie Club. For those of you returning, welcome back to the Movie Club. You can find us everywhere at 3 Films Pod or on our website, 3filmspod.com, Patreon merch, everything you need and don't need. But with the Movie Club theme in mind, it is time to welcome back some past Clubhouse members and some future Clubhouse members. We have a lot of newbies here, which I'm very excited about. I'm so stoked to have this crew here with us. This is just going to be a super fun draft. So welcome to Ethan, Amanda, Johnny, Chris, and Forrester. Thank you guys all for being here. I want to give each of you some time to plug yourself and your pods and everything. Johnny, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Johnny. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Film Lovers Guide to the Galaxy. I am joined along with Jared and Joe, 2 high school friends. We talk about movies,
Nice.
new movies, older films. We sometimes do personal top 5 films, knowing full well this is a very subjective medium and try to make it objective. It makes it very hard. And then each episode we have Joe ranting about something in the beginning of each podcast. So if you guys want to check us out, it's Film Lovers Guide to the Galaxy. It's FLGTTG, all your social media as well.
Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of you guys' pod. And then we have a couple co-hosts here. I don't know who wants to take the reins here. Chris, Forrester, all of you guys. You can do rock, paper, scissors, whatever you want. But whoever wants to intro the pod, go for it.
Knife fight, right? That's how
knife fight. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's have a knife fight.
Yeah.
The old knifey spoony.
Yeah, exactly. There's a knife. Damn. No, I'll let Chris should probably take it. I'm the co-host.
All right, perfect.
That's right. It's important to find a co-host who knows his place.
Remember that. You know?
Well. It's fine. I've accepted it.
No, we are really excited to be here tonight. We're the hosts of Cinema Swap, and we're a podcast where we mostly recast older movies with modern actors as if the movies were made today. And also sometimes do other stuff where we, swap different actors around. We change things up for season 2 a little bit because watching a movie every single week and recording a podcast episode is a ton of work.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, let's do less work. So now we don't do a movie every week. We do different stuff as well.
And we have day jobs. That's the other thing too.
Exactly,
we haven't quit our day jobs yet. We're not there yet.
Yes.
I just found out a little bit less strenuous, mostly because you're trying to recast and you just spend so much time looking at names and faces that I have like complete actor blindness. I'm worse off than when I started the podcast.
Watching a movie and taking notes every single week is like more stressful than not stressful, but like
it's a lot of work.
It is over. It makes watching a movie less fun because you're having to think about it too much while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
But we
It's like,
love
I
what
want-
we do.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took notes on the first like 5 movies we did for the first run of this podcast, and I was like, I'm done. I can't do this.
Yeah.
It's pointless for me. It takes me like 4 hours to watch a 2-hour movie. You know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
not worth it for me.
Thankfully, we do a lot of movies I've already seen before, but I don't ever watch them in detail. So I could skip over parts that I like for sure know. And
Yeah.
I think at least one movie I watched at like 1.5 or like 2 times speed. And I was like, I remember this. I remember this. And just
I know
like jot
this.
down like point for notes. I'm like, I got this. Yeah. Can't remember which
awesome.
one it was though, but that's not it. I shouldn't admit it. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Listeners, if you listen, if you listen, you'll know.
Yeah. Don't want to get in trouble with Chris, you know?
That could be any
The
episode.
boss.
Yeah. Whatever's below co-host is what he's going to demote you to once he finds out. So we can't
Yeah.
do that. but-
Co-host. There's an empty spot.
Assistant to the co-host.
Assistant to the co-host.
He'll be recurring guest.
Oh.
Yes.
There you go.
Every week. Yeah, no, I mean, we've kind of done the same thing. Like our whole thing is trying to watch new movies to us, but occasionally one of us will pick a movie that like we've already seen, and it just feels like a relief, you know. And it's like, okay, I've seen this, I know what I'm getting into. Like, I'm excited to rewatch it, but I don't have to like focus, you know, just really like kind of get super into it. But
You start a
and-
podcast. You start a podcast to watch movies because you enjoy watching movies and talk
Mhm.
about them, and then you quickly realize how much of a pain in the ass it is to watch so many goddamn movies.
yeah,
You still love to do it, but it's like, woof.
yeah, yeah. The indie podcast life is definitely like a full part-time job kind of thing. So
Yeah.
Mm.
I will
I
sell
know it's mine. I
mattresses.
go down. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I
Because
said
like, I
will
go
sell
down these
mattresses.
rabbit holes of like, top 5 favorite sports movies. Well, shit, I'm going to be writing 15 pages of notes and now I got to narrow it down to 5. Like, I can't do it.
yeah,
Very
exactly.
stressful.
Yeah.
There's so much. But yeah, speaking of recurring guests, I think it's been about 24 hours since we've seen Ethan
Not
Simi.
even. It's been less, dude. It's been
Less than
23
that.
hours.
We did our review of the Batman last night, and he's back. We're trying to
The
tell him it's
moment
not
too
worth
soon.
it, but he just keeps coming back. So,
What are you gonna do?
Ethan, very glad to have you here. Let people know where they can find you.
I am blessed to be back. I can't believe you let me back on after all of my Batman hot takes and inadvertently subtweeting about how nobody listens to my Batman hot takes after I got done potting with you.
Don't spoil it for
no.
me.
No Batman
No
spoilers
spoilers.
here, except that it's one of the best movies of all freaking time. I am Ethan Simi. I am the host of 15 Minutes of Marvel. Comes out every Wednesday and Friday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can get your podcasts, covering the latest in the MCU and movie reviews, news, all of the gauntlet in about 15 minutes. So I do
Nice.
my damnedest to try. And then Ben and I are actually co-hosts of the podcast called 24 Minutes of A24. In the same vein, we try to tackle the A24 library in 24 minutes or less every week. We talked about the finale to Euphoria last week, and we went double time. We did 58 minutes. So
We killed it.
harder than you think. But yeah, I am blessed to be back. I'm excited for this pod.
The thing is, like, if you listen to it at 2 times speed, it's still just 24 minutes of 824. Just listen to it super fast, and
Times
we
two.
kept the time. That's on you guys, the listeners. Like, you keep keep us honest.
Did you break down the finale by minute? Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. That's what it
Well,
felt like. Yeah. And at this point, Cassie walked on stage. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, so what we're doing today is a little pod. Again, I'm so glad you guys are all here. We're doing a little pod, which is kind of an offshoot from our regular episode. We just like to do something a little different. And so we are doing one of my personal favorites, which is a movie draft. And they just work a lot like a fantasy sports draft for those of you who are familiar. If you aren't, I'll explain. We're going to come up with the order 1 through 7. We're going to make 4 selections each. I figure with this amount of people, we don't need to go like super insanely long here. And it's going to work in a snake selection format. So to go 1 through 7, 7 through 1, and then we'll repeat that one more time. So everybody kind of gets the equal amount of picks and priority. What we're going to do this week is Oscars Best Picture nominees and winners. All time. So going back all the way to the beginning until, if you got one on this current, Oscars that you want to pick, tear it up. I'm really excited to see how this goes. So
Can I pick a 2023 Best Picture nominee in the Batman? Is that okay?
no, you're going to get booted.
not allowed?
That's the last Batman reference.
You
we
can't
get
see
tonight.
the future, Ethan.
Yeah.
I had to get it off. I'm out.
If you tell me Jeffrey Wright's getting Best Supporting Actor, then you're
Yeah,
really getting
let's
booted.
go.
You can't do that.
Let's go.
um,
Ben, I'm sorry, real quick. I
No,
apologize.
please.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I fixed it. Just making sure. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Again, everyone go listen to the zip list and everyone
Thank you.
else. Yeah.
Johnny's been there. He knows.
Yeah,
Yes, it was really fun.
It's all a big family here. So yeah, we've done some fun ones in the past, rom-coms, MCU, which Ethan was here for, an action movie draft, Christmas. So yeah, today we're pulling our own envelopes for the Oscars and Best Picture. Qualifier is pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes there's some rules, but it's basically like it's either been nominated or it hasn't. We're just going to hold everyone to being honest about this. So, as much as you may want to pick The Dark Knight, that unfortunately doesn't qualify, but everything else, if it's been nominated, is good.
I'm glad you brought that up.
It can be from nominees too. Oh shit.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I only looked at winners.
Oh, you're good.
I'm in all kinds of trouble.
Nominees are so deep.
Yeah.
It's so much better than winners. I got to be honest.
Almost
Things are going to
There's
get
so
out of hand.
Always pick the worst ones.
I'm in trouble. Okay.
Yeah,
We'll vamp for a while so you can like research stuff if you want. No worries.
I like that you mentioned the Dark Knight one because that's when they like added 5 more choices instead of just like being more particular about their choices. Like, who was watching Benjamin Button and being like, "Yeah, this is better than Dark Knight." Screw Dark Knight.
Yeah. Listen, I've held like an unqualified like grudge against Slumdog Millionaire ever since that movie came out, because that's the movie that won the year it didn't get nominated. And I was like, listen, Danny Boyle, you're great, but that movie did not deserve to win. Like,
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's a good
okay.
movie. It's a competent movie, but I mean, Dark Knight, come on. Not even nominated?
Exactly.
Hey man, if the history of The Dark Knight is forever changing the amount of Best Picture nominees, it's the scapegoat.
Batman.
It's the sacrifice goat. So they had to do it.
The Batman's not going to get nominated, and they're going to have to add like 20 more.
There we go. Totally cool. Let's go with it.
20.
Every movie. You're up.
We're up to 20 nominees.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, but you got Joker, so
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
This is true.
It is very true.
Hey,
so
fuck Joker.
Are we gonna do this right now?
Chris is
start
number
with
one
that.
pick.
I'm not
Don't
involved.
start with them.
Are we gonna do it?
Oh God!
All right,
I've actually realized something came up. I gotta go.
Can I get my popcorn?
I was going to get the knife and the spoon. You guys can settle this.
I love it. Yes, unfortunately, Matt can't be here, but this has definitely turned into 15
Matt
minutes of the
Weiler, my
Batman
guy.
without
Let's
doubt,
go. One of us. One of us.
Here we are. Well, before we get into the actual draft, I do like to ask a question just to kind of get everyone's feelings. And this time I kind of want to hear about the Oscars, because this will be coming out the week of the Oscars. And I'm wondering if anybody has either a prediction or a wish that they are hoping will come true for this Oscars. I mean, I saw the finger crossed, Forrester, so I'm throwing it to you first. Who you got?
I took the biggest plunge with this one where I made any sort of motion. I'm the person like in class trying to keep their head down. I don't want Power of the Dog to like win kind of anything. Well, maybe some of the technical stuff they've been nominated for if they have, but like not Best Picture, probably not Best Actor. Like everyone in it did a good job.
Yeah,
but it feels like such a like trying movie. Like they're really, really pushing it more than anything else. A lot of these other movies, I'm like, oh, I barely heard of you. That seems like normal Oscar one. This one, they're like really plastering it. And I don't like anyone. Like I like the actors in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they all did a great job playing wholly unlikable characters. I'm like, I started watching and I was like, I don't like anyone in this. I was like, mate, how am I gonna push through this? And I probably will after. So, spoiler, I haven't watched the whole thing. Maybe it gets better. Maybe
dude, the final act is worth every second of that movie.
Well,
I just finished it a couple hours ago.
Okay. If it redeems it, maybe I'll come back and eat my words. But
for now, you're subscribing to the Sam Elliott school of thought behind Power of the Dog. It's just like,
probably not the homophobia though.
No, hopefully not that extent. Let me clarify. I don't mean that. I just mean that you don't like it.
Like, I called it right from the get-go. I was like, I kind of know where this is going. And I was like, okay, that took a turn to make, everyone unlikable. And I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. This is unexpected, but not in a good way.
Well, Matt is a fan of Power of the Dog.
So I'll trust you. Complete stranger, I will trust you.
I'll trust you. I gotta say, both the movie and the band are good. I mean, it's totally fine. Chris, let's hear the other half of Cinema Swap's thoughts. What do you think about the Oscars?
This year, nothing. I don't think about. I've barely thought about them at all. No, I haven't seen Dune.
You haven't seen? Oh my
Bro,
god!
theaters have been closed for 2 years up here. When have I gone to see Dune?
I don't know, but I somehow
HBO Max, baby.
I somehow
Yeah.
saw it twice, so I don't know how
Yeah.
that happened.
I haven't gone. Listen, what is Dune, like 3 hours long?
I don't know, but who invited me to the movies
hate
twice?
sitting
That wasn't
around
you.
to watch 3-hour movies. It's like so tough to commit to that. I'm sure it's great. I'm gonna watch Dune at some point, but I just have not gotten around to that yet. And the rest of the movies don't interest me whatsoever. I think it's probably the most boring selection of best pictures this year the Oscars have ever had.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just like it's a tough year because of COVID. Obviously, theaters have been closed, open and closed for so long. It's been tough to like go out and see a movie. People are comfortable with it or not. And I just don't think, and I could be totally wrong here. I don't think there's as much sort of cultural knowledge around all of the Oscars this year as there is. Like up until like 2 days ago, I never even heard of Coda or Drive My Car. And we do a movie podcast, so maybe I shouldn't admit this on the air.
Yeah.
But we also do an older movie podcast.
Careful, or you'll be demoted.
Chris,
all right.
did you not watch the SAG Awards? Like, come on,
No,
bro.
I didn't watch the SAG Awards. I have things to do.
I'm about to say, watch yourself.
Yeah, we are getting a lot of nominees from streamers this year, which I think is kind of cool to see. So
it's a nice change, I guess. But I kind of agree with Chris on that, where I'm like, some of these, I mean, there's always some kind of boring ones in there.
Yeah.
But there's not even really like blockbusters in there. Normally they sneak a few in there, and Dune is the one. I'm like, even Dune is just kind of like a big budget, not blockbuster.
Yeah, it's interesting to have like Del Toro in there with Nightmare Alley, and the last time he had a movie in there, he won for it, and it's still just kind of like, I don't know, like maybe.
Look, unless it has fish monster sex, I'm just not interested.
You got a baseline. You got a baseline for all your movies. I get it.
He set the bar with that one.
Yeah, although I haven't seen it, so once again, who knows? Maybe it's a dream sequence in there somewhere, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I can get behind this.
I do think it's interesting that this year they like had a requirement of 10 best pictures. So, because sometimes it had been like between 5 and 10. This year it's like we're doing 10 for sure. So
every movie that came out last year, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Weren't that
all
many.
the movies you didn't see.
All the streaming services need to make their money back.
That's true. Amanda, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off in the middle of your drink, but do you want to give us your thought on your Oscars?
Sure. So I am kind of in the same boat. I've only seen the stuff that's streamed, and even then I haven't seen everything. So, which is not typical of me because I'm usually a big award show movie junkie. I watch all of them, but I'm gonna hurt Johnny's feelings here real quick.
Okay.
I hope that Kristen Stewart does not win the Best Actress.
All right.
Johnny, I know you said it was
all
good.
hot takes all the time right now. I love this.
I tried, dude. I tried because I cannot stand her. I'm sorry. I just can't.
My heart.
But Johnny's like, no, Spencer's good. She does such a good job. I got like 20 minutes in and I was like, I can't watch her anymore. So I didn't even finish it. So I'm sorry.
Are you pulling for Chastain, or who you wanting to take it then? Or you just don't want her to win?
Yes.
Just anybody but her.
Yeah.
Anybody but her. But yeah, Jessica Chastain did amazing. I mean, Isaac Tammy Faye is kind of a, you kind of have to, I don't know if it's a movie for everybody, but she's fantastic.
Let's go with the Lost Daughter sweep. Let's get Olivia Colman to win Best. Let's get Jessie Buckley for supporting. Let's get Maggie on Adapted. Like, let's get
Olivia
the Lost
Colman
Daughter sweep.
Has an Oscar.
Why not?
Let's get somebody else in there.
She deserves more.
She gets
so
the
many
best
more.
speeches.
True.
Yeah.
And I hope King Richard wins some stuff because it's the most, obviously it's got the most like attention, but for good reason. It was really, really good. So.
I told
Sorry,
Chris
Johnny,
the other
love
day. I told Chris the other day, I was like, it's nice to see Will Smith actually like acting. You know, not just being Will Smith. I'm like, he's got body language. He's putting some effort in. I'm like, yeah, all right.
That's awesome.
I think he's a fantastic actor.
I think he phones it in a lot.
Well, in the action movies, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He's the Fresh Prince. He can get away with it.
I just read his book. I highly recommend it, by the way. Yeah.
Yes, Prince the King. Johnny, I think this segues well into yours. What are your predictions or wishes?
Yeah, I hope, I'm predicting that Will Smith will win his first Oscar for King Richard. I personally think King Richard was an okay movie. It was a better Venus Story movie, second half of that movie. But Will Smith was fantastic.
Nice.
But I can see Andrew Garfield sweeping in here and just taking this Oscar from him. But I'm hoping I'm predicting Will Smith's going to win. What I do hope, though, I don't know if you guys Saw, like, I get it. Encanto is really good. It really is. But The Mitchells versus the Machines is an excellent animated movie.
It's so good.
It's a hoot.
Yeah, Lord and Miller, producing that movie. I was just one of our friends from I Want You to Watch This, Cullen. He recommended me this movie because I haven't heard of it. I was like, oh, it's a Netflix movie. I watched it. I was like, oh, holy shit. Why is it so good? So I'm hoping it wins, even though I know Encanto is probably going to win.
I have a question about Encanto. So I watched that. Excellent music. Very fun. What happens? I don't understand how the conflict
I haven't seen it. Don't spoil
appears.
it.
You just don't talk about
understand.
Bruno.
Yeah,
But
That's it.
there's an issue that comes out of nowhere, and then it just is solved somehow, and then the end. It's
Movies. Yeah.
I don't think it's that good of a movie.
Movies.
I know, but I think
It's so
Encanto
true
is
to
probably
life.
like Disney's weakest. Like, it made no sense to me. Music was great. It was excellent. The colors was beautiful. It was a really fun, I guess, movie, but like, I don't know, just real confusing.
Yeah, I can't contribute to it because I have not seen it yet, so I have nothing to add to that. But
I'm genuinely curious. I want to know.
pretty.
What
I want to
happened.
know what happened.
Ethan, you ready for your Oscar prediction?
Yeah, of course. Look, so as of this afternoon, I have seen all 10 Best Picture nominees. So
Okay.
I feel like I can at least speak somewhat. It's not a sexy Oscars year, and it's definitely not a sexy Oscars year. With them chopping 12 categories from televised notation and making some really just shitty all around choices for the Academy in general. So there is that. But I want Coda to win over Power of the Dog. I think it's going to happen. They've won a good amount of awards in the last couple weeks here with the SAG Awards and everything happening. And I want what's his name? The actor, I lost his name. Anyway, Best Supporting Actor, I want him to win Best Supporting Actor. And I really, really want Jessie Buckley to win Supporting Actor. I think if we can get Jessie Buckley to be our Oscars queen, I think that's the way to go. And she if we can call her an Oscar winner, that Oscar winner Jessie Buckley just sounds good. So I think we should go with that. I like that a lot.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I might be the worst person to answer this question because a lot like Chris, I've seen nothing. I've seen Dune. Like I have time to watch like 5 movies a month, and we watch 4 for this podcast. So it's I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to watch all this shit. But I have seen The Last Daughter. And Jessie Buckley was my favorite part of that movie. So like, let's do it. I haven't seen anything else, so I don't know if she truly does deserve to win it, but that's the only thing I could hope for.
Can I also say, like, real fast, since this year is just like not great in terms of like supporting the Oscars and like what they stand for and like let's revamp everything. I just hope for anarchy. Like, give me complete chaos of like, wow, didn't see that happening, or like, oh my god, Licorice Pizza sweeps everything and people are just enraged, or like, just give me the craziest fucking thing to happen at the Oscars. I think that is what is going to be best. Literally, no joke. That is what is going to be best for the Academy, is if things just go raining hellfire and just nothing is planned.
I want all the
La La
Land.
Moonlight situation.
They want all
Licorice Pizza
the-
not good because I was about to ask you.
I
looks
love Licorice
bad.
Pizza. I think it's fantastic.
seen
It is a beautiful, beautiful movie, but it really rubs a lot of people the wrong way in terms of the content of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going with an open mind, you'll have a fun time.
Okay.
I don't know
like
about that.
Uh-oh.
it's Paul Thomas Anderson being Richard Linklater with this
Yeah,
movie.
okay.
So it really is.
Good
And
analogy.
I thought it was good. It's probably one of his middle of the road films.
Okay.
Ah, perfect
least
for
for
the
me.
Oscars.
Yes.
That's what we need.
It is going to
This
win
year
then.
anyway.
Damn.
The Oscars just got to bring back movie clips in the during the show. If I can't see bits of movies I've never seen before,
How do
why
you
would
know
I
what to
even
like?
want to watch?
Yeah.
Exactly. I watch the Oscars, then go, oh, that movie actually looks pretty good, and then I go watch the movie. But
Just
if they
show me
don't
the ending of all of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just
Just
the last clip.
show me the last 5 minutes of Parasite. That's
Oh
Over and over again.
no! You gotta watch that from the beginning, bro.
Oh, no, I've seen Parasite. It's excellent. I like Parasite a lot.
Fantastic.
Let's talk about a different year.
Yeah.
That's how good this Oscar is.
So I don't want to start saying picks.
Well, mine, Ethan kind of mentioned it. I'm hoping, we have a favorite Gyllenhaal here at 3 Films and a Podcast, and it's Maggie. And I really hope that she gets adapted screenplay. Little self-promotion. If you're watching this live, tomorrow our Lost Daughter episode comes out. If you're watching this when it comes out, go back 3 episodes ago or something like that and check out our Lost Daughter episode. And my, to go with Ethan's just chaotic rule, let's just give the Sandman the win for Uncut Gems. Let's get really crazy and be like, hey, we screwed up. Best actor is actually going to Adam Sandler. That's what I want. Let's just get that kind of chaos. Let's get a retroactive Oscars.
The ultimate form of chaos. They just any year, anything can happen.
He can just show up in his sweatpants and
my guy. And just goes full Howie Ratner as soon as he hits the stage.
I would
starts
love
going bananas.
And Maggie, if you're listening, maybe look into a restraining order.
Who knows? Yeah, maybe check that out.
At the very least, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
They'll get the message if you do that.
But yeah, before we start this draft, thanks everyone for your answers, but I think we need to figure out what the order is going to be. I had this cool wheel randomizer pulled up that would go one at a time. And then I realized that I didn't set up my computer to share the screen with you guys. So we're not going to do that. You're just going to have to trust what I'm doing once again.
That's my favorite part.
That's collusion right there.
I know. Hopefully I don't go first. That's what always makes it weird. But yeah, so I've got all of our names in here. I'm going to hit randomizer and we are going to figure out what order we are going in. Number 1, Ethan. You got the number 1 spot. So
let's go.
Yeah, lock the Joker in right there. Chris, you're batting second here.
Okay.
I'm gonna be third. Johnny's the middle of the pack. Then Tyler. Then Amanda and Forrester. You're bringing up the rear. But you get that
I was
cool,
excited for this podcast because I was like, man, I always go last on our podcast because it's just a nice way to round things out. And I was like, this is gonna be my first time probably not going last. I should have known. I just should have known.
Chris messaged us. He's like, he has to go last. Yeah. It's a rule. I was like, all right, man.
But you get to go last and first.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's okay.
That's the hot corner, Forrester.
Yeah, indeed. This is a good one.
Great. I'm gonna have to hustle. Hopefully, you guys have just forgotten all of the best movies in the last
we'll forget every
3 decades. Yeah. Well, I
just
think
nobody steal Babe from me, okay?
Well, shit. That goes mine. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, now that we know the order, let's kick it off. Ethan, set the tone here. What are we doing?
Whew. Well, see, I was very excited in the moment, and now I'm having the realization that number 1 pick comes with a lot of stressors, and I'm probably going to get screwed later because all of my picks are going to be gone. But I am pretty excited because I was stressing out pretty hard last night about this. I phoned a friend. I was like, look, I need some help coming up with my short list here. And he confirmed what I believed was the appropriate choice here. So I'm going with the number 1 overall pick. I am going with 2010's The Social Network. It had to be done.
Oh, wow.
It is quite possibly the best film in the last decade as an entire movie.
$18,000?
Yes.
In addition to the $1,000 you'd already put up?
Yes.
A total of $19,000 now?
Yes. Hang on. I'm just checking your math on that. Yes. I got the same thing.
You're talking it wins Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Film Editing, Best Original Score, gets nominated for 5 other categories, including Best Picture, obviously. We've got Jesse Eisenberg for leading role, directing by Fincher, cinematography, and sound mixing. That's 8 noms and 3 wins, and it's just undoubtedly one of the best movies ever nominated for Best Picture. I'm gonna stick with it, and it's The Social Network.
It's hard to argue that. That was definitely on my short list. I love that movie.
Yeah, I thought it would go soon, but maybe not this soon.
Yeah.
Look, I couldn't risk it. I had to go with what I knew was
your movies.
Someone's gonna pick it. I gotta get my movies
in between there. So I know. Totally get it.
That wasn't even on my list.
Perfect.
Oh no! Wow. Oh no!
I think I dislike Zuckerberg so much as a human. I don't even want to watch a movie about him that makes him look like a shitbag. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's fair.
I just don't even want to think about Mark Zuckerberg.
That's fair.
It also wasn't on my list, mostly because that year The Fighter was on there, and it's not a movie a lot of people saw because Mark Wahlberg. but it's just a whole bunch of like terrible white trash shouting at each other, and I enjoyed it thoroughly.
That's
So I
fucking
was like,
Boston.
Fire's
yeah,
great.
exactly.
Nice.
It's a good, like, it's got some
Bale,
heart to it, but it's
Amy
really hard to take
Adams,
them
yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, it's a good one. But yeah, Justin Timberlake going first pick. Yeah, that's what Ethan was going with.
Had to be
Chris,
done, baby.
What have you got for your first pick?
Whoa, this is tough. You know, I have a huge list of things here, but I think I'm gonna have to go with 1998 Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
Nominated, didn't win because that was a fucked up year where Shakespeare in Love won a shit ton of awards, and that movie shouldn't have even been made. So, you know,
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan, it's, you know, one of the best war movies of all time. I actually just watched it on like a casual Sunday recently for some reason, thinking it was a good like Sunday evening movie. It's a
There's
great
nothing
movie.
casual about
I
that.
went to bed feeling weird afterwards.
Feeling weird.
It was just like, it just gives me a weird energy. But it's a great movie.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's in the running for like the greatest opening of a movie ever. Like, yeah, if you're not hooked after that, I mean, yeah, we do a whole segment called the elevator pitch where we try to like pick a scene that would hook people, and that movie is just the elevator pitch. That opening scene is just perfect.
I
It's
love
so
that
good.
game, by the way.
Oh, do you? Yeah,
opening
thanks. Yeah,
sequence.
It's cool.
yeah, we love an elevator pitch.
I mean, the part of that movie where they're sitting in that town defending the bridge before the Germans show up, and Matt Damon's talking about how they like spied on his brother he was having sex with that girl, and you said something like the line, it's like she took a nosedive out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down, makes me laugh every time I see that movie. And just like, it seems like a genuine, like funny story that they're sharing. And it just, that scene like warms my heart every time I see that movie.
Yeah, I love it. All right, I'm up here. And yeah, I've just got to go with, I mean, what I think is one of the greatest movies of all time. And nominated, didn't win, but I'd be upset if I went 4 rounds and didn't get a Scorsese. So I'm going with Goodfellas from 1990.
Damn.
Wow.
It's a great pick.
Yeah.
What? Just, you're funny. You mean, so? Let me understand this, because maybe it's me, I'm a little fucked up, maybe. But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you? I make you laugh? I'm here to fucking amuse you? What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
I just think it's, I mean,
I thought it'd fall deeper than that.
All around one of the best movies, I think, ever. Personally, one of my absolute favorites. And I just didn't want to risk it getting taken in the next 10 picks. So that's what I'm going with. Speaking of fun opening scenes, that whole kitchen sequence is still amazing. You know, like 30 plus years later, I'm still just like, it's such a cool scene. I love it. So yeah, there we go. Marty on the list here. Johnny, it is your turn. What's going to be your first pick?
Sticking with that theme, I'm picking a movie that won 3 Oscars, including Best Picture. I just recently rewatched it in theaters because for its 50th anniversary. It is Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather. I think that movie is just
You bastard.
absolutely magnificent. I did not watch that movie until I was like in college. So I also watched The Simpsons growing up. So there's certain scenes in The Simpsons that I just didn't get until I saw The Godfather. And so when Bart Simpson was getting destroyed with all these cupcakes, I was like, oh, I get it now. This makes so much sense. This makes so much sense now. You know, but yeah, I absolutely love this movie. I think this might be one of Al Pacino's best roles ever. And it's very understated how he does it, right? And just from the writing, directing, the sound, cinematography, is just like watching a painting. So I had to pick The Godfather.
I think that's a great choice. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I was coming across some clips of a really young Brando. I was like, dude, that guy was handsome as shit. Like, he was
he also had that, like,
so was Al Pacino. Damn.
True. Yeah, very true.
Different taste than men, clearly.
Tyler, it's up to you now. What's it going to be?
Well, since Johnny took my first pick, I can't believe that. Oh, you look like such a nice guy through my computer screen here. No, well, so I'll go with what I actually wanted to pick. So I was going to pick The Godfather because I'm like, I feel like it has to go early, and if I have the chance, I should take it. You know, but I'm going to take one of my favorite movies of all time. It was the Best Picture winner in 2007, and it's the Coen Brothers' No Country for Old Men.
You know what date is on this coin? No. 1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
Well, look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything, call it.
Damn.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
That's-
off my list now.
That's probably of the movies on my list that I have here. I've probably seen that the most,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. But yeah, I just absolutely love that movie, and I'm happy to take it with my first pick here.
Actually, considering you've seen it so much, can you answer me a question? I cannot
I
for the
hope
life
so.
of me remember the score in that movie, and I keep thinking that there just is no score because every memorable moment's just
Yeah.
silent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's really smart. Like, that's good.
Yeah, so I think that was actually I don't really remember, to be honest. I remember there being no score, and I thought I remembered reading something that there isn't a score, but
Yeah.
I don't know well enough to, I can Google it. I suppose
It just makes
but-
the whole movie tense because there's no hint
Right.
where it's going. You're just like,
Mhm.
holding
Yeah.
your breath the whole time, and then you just can like,
Absolutely.
oh, at the end. Well, that's off my list, but you're the only one who really took one off my list, and I'm just like, I have to decide now. I was hoping I wouldn't have to decide. I was
know,
hoping
right?
you guys would all like take my
I
top picks.
know.
I'd be like, guess I'll go with these backup picks.
Well, we're gonna see if Amanda adds to that, but yeah, No
Mhm.
Country is awesome. I remember Tyler visiting some when you lived in Austin, and I feel like it was like 10:30 at night, and it was just on TV. And then we just like watched it, like all of us, just like in the room. It's like no one's gonna change it. It's just on TV. There's
Yeah.
commercials and
Yeah.
everything. It's like it's on. Let's just watch it. It's so good. But Amanda, it's up to you. What is your first pick? What are you taking from
All right.
Forrester?
Well, I don't know if I'm taking anything, but I think that Johnny picked the wrong Godfather.
Ooh.
So I am
I was
Okay.
hoping we'd have
taking
this conversation.
Godfather 2,
Mm.
74, because both movies are amazing, but honestly, Godfather 2 is one of the very few sequels I will say is better than the original. And I know that's kind of a cliche thing people say, but it's true. So
I've heard that.
I like both of them, but I feel like you really get. I have a thing for Michael Corleone, so maybe that's
Nice.
why. But he really comes into his own, and I love the backstory. With Robert De Niro, like I think it's a better movie, and
That's awesome.
love it.
Yeah, Godfather was one of my favorites growing up, and I loved it so much that I, to this day, have still not watched Godfather 2. So I'm just like, I'm afraid it's gonna be better than Godfather, and I'm just gonna be like, oh, what's happened the last 30 years of my life? Like I thought Godfather was the best.
Are you
So, like,
serious?
yeah, honestly, I
Oh, that
still
makes
haven't
me
watched it. Like,
sad.
I love the Godfather so much.
Someone's just
Like,
gonna walk into your room. You're gonna be face down on the floor, just like heavy
Yeah.
breathing, and people are, are you okay?
Yeah, it's better. I don't
It's
know what to do.
better. It's better.
This puddle
It's not so
forming.
much better that you won't like the original, though.
Yeah,
Just don't watch
I know,
Godfather
that's true.
3. It's terrible.
I just
Even
I
things
just haven't
out.
gotten around to it yet. But yeah, Forrester. You got the
speaking-
turnaround spot here. So what are your 1 and 2?
That's wonderful. Because I was about to say, speaking of movies that have just terrible sequels, I'm gonna go with 1975 Jaws. I think it's
Oh,
just like
you asshole.
I knew I had to. Like,
Oh, that's
there's a
my next
lot on
pick.
my list that I'm like, I thought for sure I just wasn't gonna get because it's kind of blockbustery. But like, there's just so many nice little character moments in that they really added to it that they didn't need to. It's not a
Yeah.
horror movie, really. It's just like a small town movie that happens to have a killer shark. That's the best way to put it. And I laugh like every time. I probably laugh more than I like gasp. I don't know what the proper response for fear is. I don't feel it. But also, yeah, I was like, it felt like it should have gotten somewhere a little bit more than it did. It never won, which I'm like, come on.
Jaws did
Yeah.
win.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
No, it didn't. It was nominated for Best
You
Picture,
sure?
but it didn't win
Oh,
Best Picture.
I thought
Yeah.
I wrote the wrong
Yeah.
note here. That's okay.
I was shocked by that. I don't remember what won in 1975, but must have been good.
One flew over the cuckoo's
One flew over
nest.
the cuckoo's nest.
Oh, so it was good. I don't feel
Yeah.
so bad about
Yeah.
that. That's like,
I think that was the deserving movie for that year.
Well, I think Jaws is a great pick. And I just want to say we've really enjoyed you on your first and last time on the podcast because I'm very upset that you just took that
Yeah.
from me. But it's been
Oh, well,
real.
I get to go again, so you're really going to hate me probably.
Yeah, so all right, let's see. Let's kick off round
man, I
2
thought-
here.
Now I have a tough
I
one,
thought
'cause-
totally Jaws would be your first pick, Ben. I was blown away when you didn't pick it.
Yeah, I mean, That's my fault. I have no one to blame but myself. I really thought that was going to be mine too, but I just saw Goodfellas here. It's like, I like Goodfellas. I'm good with
Wait,
that.
what did you pick? Ben?
Goodfellas, which is
Not Jaws.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay,
Jaws.
Not Jaws.
Jaws.
Not Jaws.
Just a little old movie called Goodfellas.
Yeah. You might have heard of it. You know,
Little
kind of an
tiny- little
indie
tiny
flick,
movie.
cult flick. Yeah. This is tough now because now I have to like plan strategically,
Yeah.
knowing like
You got
I
a
don't
big
know
gap.
any of you guys. How do I? What movie would you pick that I can save for later? I guess when they do it, you know what? I'll do another Spielberg and just kind of round it off with that and do 1981 Raiders of the Lost Ark.
You
It's like-
asshole.
Oh no!
I feel like for an
Oh.
intro, like both of those movies have really strong intros, but like Raiders of the Lost Ark is one that I just like. I love it. The framing, there's
Mhm.
very little like even sound. It's just like perfect introduction to a character. And you learn kind of everything you need to know, and then you just get to learn all the bumbly bits after. And I'm like, he's like a perfect hero, and you're like, great. And then as he goes, like it transitions to him into like getting punched in a schoolroom and all that, and you're like, this is not, yeah. Yeah, so I
Cool.
gotta go with it. I love that movie. These are classics. I'm sorry, everyone.
Yeah, so you got a reaction out of
I
just
feel
about
so
everybody.
guilty now.
I think for
No,
that person,
you gotta be a shark, right?
you got to do it. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
to be honest, a lot of our drafts we don't get a whole lot of crossover. So the fact that there's upset people makes me happy.
Yeah, we like the chaos here.
The big win, yeah.
I thought I was gonna be the one that was upset. I was expecting it. I was like ready for it. I had accepted it deep in my heart, and now I'm like, I have to be the asshole now. I'm not prepared for this.
Ready for
It's,
that?
it's an Oscars related chat, so if people aren't upset and disappointed afterwards, it's not done right.
That
Yeah,
is
fair
fair
enough.
enough.
That's a very good point.
True.
Yeah, chaos this year.
Exactly. Chaos only.
Chaos rules.
Amanda.
Embrace the chaos.
What's your second pick?
Okay. Well, so again, didn't have much time to prepare. Only wrote down winners because I thought that's what we were doing. So
My bad, yeah.
no, you're fine. I just a lot of mine are probably going to be winners as I keep thinking, but this one, regardless, I would pick. It is the 1991 Best Picture winner, Silence of the Lambs,
Ooh,
That's a good pick.
that is a
Nice.
great choice.
Solid.
and because it's I mean, I think it's debatable whether or not it's horror, but it was classified as horror and it won Best Picture, which is not something that really ever happens.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic movie.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
And Hopkins won, right, for a supporting actor, I think.
Don't
that year,
believe so.
remember. I
Which is
think
crazy
so.
because it's like 12 minutes of screen time, maybe. Something
Yeah,
that.
like
it's-
nothing.
Yeah, he was so good in that. That's a wonderful selection. That's a movie that's like relatively new to me in my life in the last few years, and I love it. It is
so good. Yeah.
I think I sat down and watched it like all the way through for like the first time maybe last year, and previously I'd just seen it on TV like bits and pieces all the way through. So I'd seen the whole movie and
Yeah.
knew the whole movie, but then I watched it again just all in one sitting. I was like, this is much better to see it all
I
in
feel
one
like,
sitting.
yeah.
Yeah, and
movie
you can
to
see it
TV of it.
unedited too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Whoops.
I like the
It's a-
commercial breaks.
It's an amazing
Tyler.
mind fuck, and that's why I love it. So
Totally. It's funny you talk about the commercial breaks. I had Comedy Central on last night, and their new thing is they call their movies with breaks. I thought that was very clever branding
Nice.
to let you forget that it's really just commercials.
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, it was cute. I liked it very much. Good job, Comedy Central. So basically this is gonna be like Tyler picks his favorite movies draft.
Perfect.
I'm just picking another favorite of mine. It was nominated. It did not win. It's from 1997 with our dear friend Robin Williams and Matt Damon. I'm taking Good Will Hunting off the board with my second pick.
It's a decent
Good
pick.
choice.
Not your fault.
Yeah.
It's
It
not
won
my
Best
fault.
First
I had to
screenplay
do
from
it.
Affleck. Pretty
Yeah,
good.
you got the screenplay.
Right. Put our boys on the map. Oh, I was gonna say I think it was Forrester. You mentioned you'd seen Silence of the Lamb in pieces through TV or whatever. That's almost a movie you can watch like through other people's experience, right? Because it gets quoted so much and it gets
Mhm.
referenced so much, and it's like it's in other things, like it's in The Simpsons or whatever, like it's in Dumb and Dumber. So it's like it's one of those movies that you
infused
know
in
even
pop
if you've
culture,
never
right?
seen
You
it.
know?
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's in the cable
totally.
guy.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's a great pick. Johnny.
Thank you.
So since No Country for Old Men got picked, I'm gonna pick the movie that probably should have won that year in 2007, and that was Paul Thomas Anderson's "There Will Be Blood." I absolutely love this movie. Daniel Day-Lewis gives one of the best performances ever in this movie.
My straw reaches across the room and starts to drink your milkshake. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
I remember watching it in high school and I was like, I like it. I just don't understand why I like it. Like I couldn't put, like, I get it, but I couldn't, nimble brain here couldn't figure it out. And then like watching in college, I'm like, oh, this makes, the whole journey, which makes the whole milkshake scene at the end so much better once I realized,
the relevance.
Grasp it.
Yeah,
I know. So but yeah, I'm gonna take There Will Be Blood. I just absolutely love that movie.
Cool.
Nice.
Good choice.
That is awesome. I am going with a pretty recent winner. We've talked about it already, and honestly, just like it quickly made its way onto like my favorite movies of all time, and that's Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. I love that movie.
Yeah, I can't believe it fell this far. I was impressed that it just kept dropping.
Yeah,
that was going to be my first pick, but I thought I had time.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I love that movie. Yeah, I kind of felt the same. I was going to see if it would come around the third round, but I think we're all kind of treating this like, I don't know if it's going to be here when I want it, so I'm just going to take it now. But I love Parasite. Anybody that's listened to our shows heard me talk about this, but I saw it and text Tyler and Matt pretty immediately. And I was like, you guys need to see it, especially before the Oscars, because I think there's a chance it might win. And I was afraid that I was like overselling the movie. It's like it's fucking perfect. Like I love it. It's so good.
It's fantastic.
Like, trying to like restrain myself so I wasn't setting up the expectations too high, but thankfully they both loved it as well. So that's what I'm going with. I'm very happy it was still here. So I'm taking Parasite from 2019.
That is a wild film.
It was nuts.
To say the least.
And it's one I feel like you can't oversell because there's no way to even prepare someone for what they're about to see. So it's just like it's really good. It won the Oscar. Like you're gonna be happy.
Like even describing what it's about is hard. Like
right, exactly.
It's like, what's this movie about? Well,
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Like any movie that makes history to become the first international and first Best Picture winner, that's impossible to oversell. It's fucking history. That's what it is.
I mean, it deserves it, honestly.
It
like
deserved it.
every other film he's also made is just like, or directed, I'm just like, yeah, this is so good.
Mother is very good.
I was a huge fan of Host when it came out. I have it on DVD. It's probably the only one ever
Forrester.
made.
I had the worst time with The Host. When I watched it,
oh my God,
I could only watch the dubbed version. And so it just like it ruined it.
That would ruin it.
Yeah.
I was like, this movie's like it was such a bummer.
I would describe that movie as Korean. Like just where it's like you're like you come expecting a certain genre and it's like no. Like the first bit you're like, is that a comedy bit? Like in the middle of this family drama? What's happening right now?
What's going on?
Yeah.
I know it's due for a revisit. I need to check it out again. Like
Parasite deserved it. Yeah, the CG does not hold up.
True.
It's not great.
Jimmy, what's up? Thank you so much for being
what's up, Jimmy?
here.
Hi,
does look like
Jimmy.
getting spam, but those are my really close friends from Naked HD XYZ. So friends of the pod here, sponsors. Chris.
Oh geez. Pressure's
what's
back.
your second pick here?
Oh boy. Okay, so I got a lot of good stuff on the list here. A lot of stuff hasn't been taken yet. I think though, for my second pick, I'm gonna go with the best one in the series, undoubtedly.
Ooh.
And the only one to win the Oscar for Best Picture, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Return of the King.
Well, I can get rid of that one.
It's the fightiest Lord of the Rings. It's the least walkingest Lord of the Rings. It's the best one in the trilogy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have a different opinion on that one, where I think, honestly, picking the third movie in a trilogy, like, it's hard because it builds on what's already been built, right? Like, what's already there. It's hard to be like, by itself, makes no sense because you don't know any of the characters.
Yeah, but you wouldn't watch it by itself because it's the third movie in a trilogy.
But I'd also argue it's one of the movies that by itself you're like, I don't know what's going on, but the fight scenes are pretty cool, so why not?
Let's check it out.
Still those pirates, man. What else do you want?
It won an Oscar for each of its 17 endings.
Yeah. I'm excited. We're going to revisit that trilogy in the summer because I don't know the last time I watched it. And I don't really remember anything about it, but Tyler and Matt love it. So I was like, I feel like I need to revisit it. So I'm very excited for that. But yeah, I feel like it'd be hard to go into the third one. I worked with a coworker who went and saw Infinity War, and the ones before that he had seen were like Iron Man 2, and like Guardians. He's like, I don't know what's going on. It's like, yeah, man, you came into the 23rd chapter of a book. Like, I wouldn't expect you to understand what's going on. Like, it's just like, what are you doing right now? But
I have not seen a single Lord of the Rings movie. I know.
Oh wow.
I love
Everybody's gonna hate me.
Okay. It depends.
I feel like we've got to have you on for one of those episodes. Then
yeah,
totally.
There you go. First watch. So. That's a good one to have. Yeah,
I mean, we can't judge you. The whole point of this podcast is exploring movies we should have seen before. So
yeah,
this is the last podcast you're going to receive judgment from. So join us for when you do watch it.
Okay,
I haven't seen most movies.
Yeah, so every time
it's not that I don't want to. It's just a big undertaking. It's like the Marvel, my husband watched before Endgame, watched every single movie in chronological order. It's like 25 movies. Which I know Lord of the Rings isn't, but who the fuck has time to do that?
That's fair. I think it's probably a trilogy you could watch. Like they do end pretty well, so you don't feel like you automatically have to go into the next one. You could watch one a week.
Right.
Why not? They're nice. They're breezy. Return of the King. breezy. Yeah. Return of the King. I like it a lot, mostly because Merry and Pippin get their own sideline like story. And I'm like, totally. Those are kind of my favorites. So I'm like, all right, I like to see them do their own thing.
Man, I'm with you. I'm glad Liv Tyler made the cut. I wish it had been for Empire Records, but we can only do what to do here. So
Liv Tyler should make all the cuts.
Exactly. It's how I feel. It's gonna be my fourth pick. So surprise. Ethan, we're finally back. Are you still here?
We're back, baby.
We've been gone
Let's
for
go.
a while, but we're back. So
I've been plotting. I've been scheming, just watching all my picks slip away through my fingers. Honestly, so
you're here though. You got two back to back.
I do. I have two back to back, which is a lot of power. So I am going to go with a 90s movie that took Sundance by storm, changed the way we thought of what a story could be told and the timeline it could be told. Was probably a poster that every single person had in their college dorm room growing up. I'm going with Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction for 94. Doesn't win, but wins screenplay and is just an all around massive success story. One of the most iconic, probably pop culture films, cinema, if you want to call it that, movies of all time. I mean, it's Pulp Fiction. It is what it is.
What? What country you from? What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what? What? English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Yes!
So I'm going with Pulp Fiction for my number 2 pick. And then for my number 3 pick, I'll start the third round going back to something more modern day. I am going to go in 2013, a year that had very good movies, actually quite a solid list of Best Picture nominees. 12 Years a Slave, incredibly deserved, fantastic movie. You've got Her, Dallas Buyers Club, American Hustle, all very good things. But I am picking another Marty joint, and I'm going with The Wolf of Wall Street because I just adore that movie.
Great fucking
It doesn't
movie.
win anything, which is just an all-out tragedy. Just
that was
really,
awful.
really a bummer. Especially when you're talking about Leo getting nominated and not winning, and then Jonah Hill also getting nominated. I believe that's his only nomination he's ever received for an Oscar.
Did he get nominated for Moneyball, or am I
Yes,
crazy?
he did.
Oh,
We did.
yes.
Moneyball as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
There you
that
go.
makes sense.
Okay, good call. So those would be his 2 noms. And I love this movie. I think it's really long, but it's really, really, really good. And it is probably Leo at his best embodiment of Scorsese. Like he just says, like, let's just do it. Let's just do exactly what we want to do. And we make this 3-hour just fuck fest of a movie, honestly, that like anything can happen. So I feel pretty confident about my picks, and I'm pretty happy, and I'll just be taking a nap until it comes back to me.
Leo trying to crawl into his Lamborghini on the lemon Quaaludes is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen.
Really
just
is.
the noises he's making, like the physical acting he's doing.
Need some lewds.
It has me laughing out loud.
I'm convinced they were on Quaaludes the whole time.
I guarantee
Yeah, they
Leo
could've
found
been.
some lewds
Yeah.
for the movie and was taking them for
That's
sure.
method acting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Gotta do what you
solid.
gotta do.
You got a Tarantino and a Scorsese back to back. It's hard to argue that.
In the
Pulp
second
Fiction
of the
is-
third round, let's go. I can't believe it.
Pulp Fiction's just one of the best, man. I think it's, I mean, like you said, it really kind of changed how things were done for a while there. So I think it's a solid choice. Chris, it's a
All
big
right,
task
so-
to follow these two, but I'm curious to see what you got.
You know what? I'm going to change it up. I'm going to step away from the action adventure for a little bit. And I'm going to pick a movie that when I saw it the first time, I did not really like it that much. And I watched it again a second time. And I was like, holy shit, this movie's amazing. It just, maybe the company wasn't good the first time. I watched it with better people the
All
second
right.
time. Silver Linings Playbook 2012, nominated, did not win. But one of Bradley Cooper's like best actingist roles. Jennifer Lawrence is amazing in it. Robert De Niro is so awesome in it. Like they play such complex, sort of shitty, but like, you know, you still want to root for them characters. They play like real people. And it's just, it's listed as like a comedy on, you know, Netflix and stuff. I don't think it's that funny. I don't think it's a comedy. It's just a good movie and it just makes me feel good. I like it a lot. I think it deserves lots more love. I know it got love, you know, back in 2012, but people need to, you know, keep not sleeping on it.
It's so good.
That I'm with you. I still feel like you did after the first time you watched it. We're doing a round coming up called Second Chance Cinema, where it's a movie that it seems like everybody likes that we don't.
Yeah.
And this was up there. I ended up picking Interstellar, but this was my other pick because like I don't get this movie at all, and I don't understand why everyone loves it. I'm happy for everybody that they do. I'm just like,
I am on your side on this one. I was just like,
Yeah.
I watched it, and maybe I do need to watch it again. Give it a second
Yeah,
chance. That's what
I
the
don't
movie's
know.
about, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe I don't know. I didn't care enough, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. fair enough.
I liked that movie, but it has like, so that movie has a lot of gambling in it, and there's this thing that happens to me when I watch movies about people doing degenerate things. It makes me really want to do that thing. Like that movie really makes me want to sports gamble. Like I really want to go bet on some sports.
Like
or like
Tiger
there's a movie
King.
about
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, sure, yeah.
I really want
need
to own a
zoo,
tiger
baby.
after that. I was like, dude, that's so
Yeah,
cute.
right?
I
I'm gonna get
want
one of these.
Yeah.
And like nothing makes me want to drink more than a movie about an alcoholic. Just like, ooh, where's the whiskey?
You get the
Where
subtle
is it?
messaging. You get it.
All right, round 3, my pick. I mean, I'm kind of following the coattails here of Ethan, and I'm worried that it's not going to be here when it comes back around. I do think Pulp Fiction was Tarantino's, like, I don't know, like maybe biggest influence on movies and cinema as a whole. But I think 2009's nominee, Inglourious Bastards, is still the best movie he's ever done. I love it so much. I mean,
a great pick.
when I saw the posters, I was like, wait. My man crush Brad Pitt is going to be in a movie directed by one of my favorite directors. Like, I don't know how I'm not going to like this, you know? And I love that movie so much.
So good.
We talked about it earlier with Saving Private Ryan, but another solid intro to a movie. That whole scene, like we're going to meet Christoph Waltz, like you
He
know,
is the best.
fighting in a bar underground, like all that kind of stuff. Like it's just, I don't know. I still think it's the best thing he's done.
Any movie about killing Nazis is usually up there on my favorite movie list because that's just something we don't get behind.
Each and every man under my command owes me 100 Nazi scalps. And I want my scalps. And all y'all will get me 100 Nazi scalps taken from the heads of 100 dead Nazis. Or you will die trying.
That's true. It's a good concept, I think, behind that. So
it's got a good message.
Very good. So
I got on Raiders early.
Yeah,
Christoph Waltz is
Smart.
so fantastic in that movie because he's so evil, but he's so polite. You know, he's just like, congratulations to you and your cows, and this milk is delicious. He's there to kill them.
He's believably hammy is the best way.
Yes.
I can see why they were like, you're going to be Blofeld and Bond. I mean, kind of let down a little bit by that. I was like, just play the same character you're playing. That's exactly what I want in my Bond villain.
And I think much like Margot Robbie and Wolf of Wall Street, I think like we got introduced to Christoph Waltz with this, and it was just like, okay, yeah, this dude will be around for a bit. Like I really like what he's doing. So
I adore him.
Johnny, it looks like I may have frustrated you with my pick, but I'm curious what you're going to do with your third pick now.
Well, I was going to do Inglourious Basterds, but now it just, I understand how Tyler felt when I just said The Godfather. It just like disappeared out of nowhere, right? It's just a bummer. Because I was thinking the last two rounds, I'm just going to pick movies that I love, and that was one of them, and now it's gone. So I'll just go on to the next one. I think 2014 was a very unexpected year. There's a lot of indie movies there, but Whiplash,
let's go, baby.
Such a fantastic movie.
Great pick.
You know, the chemistry between Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons in that movie is so great. I felt so much pain watching that movie. You know, Jared, one of my other co-hosts, we were talking about that movie before, and he was saying like it felt like an actual like sports movie, like an action movie. Like at the end, it kind of just gets your heart beating, like the adrenaline is kicking in, and I absolutely love this movie. So Whiplash will be my pick.
Yeah.
Start counting.
5, 6, 7.
In 4, damn it! Look at me.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Now, was I rushing or was I dragging? Count again.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Rushing or dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference.
That is very much my tempo, Johnny. I'm very happy with that.
I'm glad.
I'm so happy you said that, Ben.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, J.K. Simmons was so good in that.
That is, that
He
goes
wins for
incredible.
best supporting, doesn't he? He
Yes,
wins for best
he
supporting?
does.
Yeah. Deservedly. Yeah.
Very much so.
That's a movie I've watched once, loved it, and will never watch again. I can't put my heart through that.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
I've only seen it once.
That was great.
But it's amazing, and it deserves the
It's so good.
Yeah, so good. I will never watch it again.
I've never seen
Tyler.
that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
Come
Chris.
on, Chris.
Oh, sorry. As I was gonna say, I've never seen that, but like, I like Miles Teller. I think he's good in a lot of stuff, but he's got this like incredibly punchable face. And when I look at him, he's like, I bet he's a nice guy, but he looks like he's a dick.
This
you know
is
what I mean?
a movie. This movie will do it for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you love it.
Yeah, this movie will do it for you then.
Yeah.
They made this movie for you, Chris.
It's
I saw that pretty recently. I think I saw that within the last few months, and it's everything that everyone just said about it. It's like super intense, and if you want to see Miles Teller suffer, that's the movie for you.
This is it.
Right.
So continuing my picks here of just what is my favorite things. Ben mentioned it, and you know, listeners of our podcast know well by now. I'm a big Lord of the Rings guy, and my personal favorite of the trilogy is the Two Towers, and so that's going off the board for me. I'm taking my pick here. Two Towers. I don't know why. Maybe it's because there's a wizard fight and there's the Battle of the Helm's Deep. I'm not entirely sure why.
That wizard fight.
Oh, it's the best.
It's so much fun. You're like, God. Sorry,
and I can't remember who said it, but they said that what's the third one? I love these movies.
Return of the King.
Return of the King.
What's the third one? I love these movies. That's the greatest thing ever.
But I think Two Towers, I mean, the Battle of Helm's Deep, man, that's like a 45-minute fight scene. I don't know if it really is, but
it might
I
be.
just remember that fight scene. That's like my favorite fight scene in any movie ever. So
nice.
It is excellent. It was tough for me. I was going between either that one or Return of the King for my Lord of the Rings pick.
I was so nervous when you started saying Lord of the Rings. Like, don't do this to me.
Thankfully, I knew which one Chris was going for. I just had it locked in. I was like, I know which one he likes the most. We talked about it.
All right, Amanda, we're back to you.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to pick one that didn't win, actually.
Cool.
I'm going to go at Chris with 1998 and pick a different movie, though.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with Life is Beautiful.
Okay.
I feel like
Nice.
that should have won that year. And it's not, I mean, again, it's a subtitle movie like, you know, Parasite. So it's not like something that people go crazy over, but I feel like it's so like anybody that has kids or even family that they love, like the lengths you'll go to protect your family and to keep them safe. And And yeah, it's another Nazi fighting movie. So let's do it.
Staying on brand here.
Big win.
I like it.
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie, but there's a constant loop in my head of Roberto Benigni just like running across all the chairs as he walks. Like, I don't even know who this guy is, but I love that he's just like,
Make it out, Halle
I'm running
Berry.
across the stairs. Let's go. I was like, all right, cool, man. Let's do this.
It's definitely worth a watch. It's not one of those movies you'd watch over and over because it's very heartbreaking, but it's very interesting how he's trying to keep his son safe by playing a game with him. You know, like when kids are scared and you're like, okay, we're going to play a game and everything's fine. And really you're not fine. Like, you know, you're trying to hide from Nazis. So,
yeah.
Well, you got it.
Well,
Thanks,
one
Matthew.
of the 3 podcasters of this podcast have seen it. So you got an endorsement from him.
Yep. It's solid.
I highly recommend it. It's a very, very good movie.
That sounds
it feels
great.
like something we need to watch for sure. Okay, Forrester.
It's not fun, but
the Holocaust movie's a bummer. That's so crazy.
I know, right? Who would have thought?
Amanda said I was going to be happy. I don't know why.
I was going to say beautiful. What?
It's the
Father-son bonding.
It's the most fun you can have with that kind of movie.
Jesus, that's what you said about Schindler's List too, Forrester.
Yeah.
Okay, it's more lighthearted than Schindler's List, but not much.
It's bittersweet. Yeah. Oh, now
all
it's
right,
on
Forrester,
me.
3 and 4.
I know, and I
ending
hate this. I hate stacking these up because there's so many that like there's a lot of honorable mentions I'd love to include, but there's just too many movies, right? I might as well finish off the trilogy and do the first Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
All right.
It is actually my favorite, if only because it's like such a comfort movie to me. It's just warm. It feels small. It feels like a little adventure that kind of, it's nice. There's no big battle scenes. It's just nice. You get to know all these characters and it feels like a true like adventure, a little bit more real, a little bit less like sliding down stairs on shields or the earth opening and destroying the enemy, like things like that. I'm like, that makes sense in this context. But this one feels like, I don't know, textual. That's the best way. But like, you feel like you can feel it. Tactile. That's the word.
Fellowship of the Ring is the only one that could be its own kind of movie. It could just end, and that could have been a great movie. You wouldn't necessarily need the other two. If the end of that movie was just Frodo and Sam rowing away, and then who knows what happens, people would be like, "Oh, cool, that's fair enough."
Yeah.
Matt is right. Liv Tyler.
Has there ever been another trilogy / will there ever be another trilogy that gets nominated for Best Picture 3 years in a row with each single installment of the trilogy? That is that is an absurd stat. I can't think of another trilogy that will do that.
Just the fact that they made them.
Just the Batman.
I think Blade.
There we go.
Oh, man.
I mean, I feel like they had a chance with 50 Shades of Grey and they just totally let that slip.
Blew it.
Yeah. And now I have to pick my final pick, which is going to be kind of a hard one. I'm going to go with one that somehow I didn't see for a very long time. I'm a huge Wes Anderson fan. I know, hit and miss. Not everyone loves him. But like Grand Budapest Hotel is just so
nice,
quaint feeling. It's nice, and it feels like such a stage play in a way that like your characters can be in peril, but you don't actually have to feel fear. You can still be just having fun with it.
Yeah,
it's goofy
and
it's
like
so beautiful.
Yes,
so many actors in that where I'm just like, that was fun. You had fun doing that. I can tell you had fun doing that. Like Harvey Keitel being just like a prison guy, and I'm like, oh, that's great.
It's a perfect. I think it's a perfect movie. Like I think every actor is on their game. It's funny. It just everything hits so well in that movie. Everyone's just having a great fucking time.
100%.
That's ultimately what I like in my movies most of all. Just like sit back and have fun with you.
if you listen to any episodes of Cinema Swap, we talk about Wes Anderson a lot in many different contexts. So I'm not surprised he came up.
I was going to say usually not good, but I was like, okay.
Usually we're making fun of him, but in a nice way.
In a nice way. In a way I'm sure he'd love.
We've talked about
that sounds like something a bully would say.
We're making fun of him in a perfectly symmetrical way.
You're laughing near him.
Yeah, exactly.
We've talked about like recasting one of his movies, but making the rule that you can't use anyone that he's used in any of his other movies because he goes back to the well so often. Like it'd be really interesting to do a brand new cast. Like
that's like 10
Bill
actors
Murray.
Down.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think it'd be kind of interesting to see that.
He's like artistic Adam Sandler.
Exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, Forrest, you got some solid picks here. Jaws, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Fellowship of the Ring, and Grand Budapest
I know.
Hotel.
I went kind of like, there were some more acting ones. I was like really strong acting roles, but I was like, someone else will pick them. I'll leave those for someone else.
Yeah. No, you got some good stuff. Amanda, how are you wrapping up your draft?
Oh, it's too stressful. Okay. I guess. All right, I'm just gonna do it. I am picking this movie because I saw this. Basically, went to the theater to see something else. It was sold out. I'm older than you guys, and this was before you could buy tickets online. You just had to go and hope you got tickets. And the movie we wanted to see was sold out, and we were like, "What's this movie?" No clue. Watched it, and I just fell in love. It is a Best Picture winner, 1999 American Beauty.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Love that pick.
Nice.
So heartbreaking and so like just cinematically beautiful, and the performances are great, and it's just I was one of the first movies that really shocked me. I was like, really? He is really gonna die? Like, that's gonna happen? Okay then.
What movie were you going to see? I'm curious.
I don't remember. I really don't remember.
There we
honestly.
go. That's how you know it was a good one.
We had no idea what it was about. This was like, just barely. I mean, I didn't have a phone that had internet on it in 1999. Like, I was 19.
I don't think anyone did. I don't think that was physically possible. Unless you had a really long cord to your printer or something. The
we're like,
wall mount.
Kevin Spacey? Okay, we'll check it out. We were probably going to see something like American Pie or something like that. I don't know. We saw American Beauty instead. I don't know.
That's a mix-up that seems like, American something. Two tickets to that
American movie. Maybe saw other 99 nominee, The Sixth Sense. Who knows? That's an interesting one, too.
Another solid one.
Yeah.
I love your picks here. Godfather 2, Silence of the Lambs, Life is Beautiful, and American Beauty. It's a solid run there.
It's a good lineup.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Tyler, how you wrapping up yours?
I mean, I have to do it. Ben, you probably know where I'm going with this. The more I talk, we have to have an Adam Driver movie in here. He's the patron saint of 3 films and a podcast.
He is indeed.
This was my favorite movie of 2019.
This guy.
With acknowledgement that Parasite is, it won the award, so it's probably better. And I did rate it higher on my Letterboxd, but Marriage Story knocked me on my ass. I laughed, I cried, I couldn't believe what I was watching. Adam Driver singing Sondheim has lived in my head rent-free and has probably been talked about on this podcast more than anything else we've ever talked about.
Yes.
So if it doesn't end up on one of our lists, and I want it to be my list, then, we would be doing ourselves a disservice. I can't sing Being Alive because I don't want to take that away from Adam Driver. And if you've never seen the movie, I want you to be able to go in and just experience it without having my voice tainting your experience. So I won't sing it, Matt. It's a nice
Patreon
try.
exclusive. We'll get Tyler to sing Being Alive. So subscribe to our Patreon if you want to hear that.
Okay. Here's how we make this happen. We watch a movie about an alcoholic, put a bottle of whiskey next to me, and then tell me to sing Sondheim.
There you go.
Perfect.
I'll probably do it.
Are there musicals about alcoholics? We could just wrap this all together, right?
Throw on Leaving Las Vegas and
Oh God, no, that's a bummer.
Yeah, I have to say, having known you for quite a while now, we're coming up on 20 years. If I had to look at this list without names and be like, which one was Tyler's? Like, it's the one with No Country for Old Men, Good Will Hunting, Two Towers, and Marriage Story, 100%. So I think
good mix.
It's a very Tyler pick, but it's also a really good pick. All those movies are solid. So I love your draft without a doubt.
Oh, I love you
Marriage
too, Ben.
Story was amazing.
Yeah,
it really is.
I'm happy Driver ended up in this somewhere because I really want to put Black Klansman on it. Like that movie, I love it.
Yeah, he's great in that.
Marriage Story, definitely the better acting role. So I'm like,
it's the way to go.
I will say he is the first Star Wars villain I have ever felt sorry for. Like, I just wanted to reach through the screen and just cuddle him because I'm like, oh, you poor baby, just come here and let me love you.
Ben just needed a hug. That's all he needed.
That's all he needed was a hug. Damn it, man.
You mean old Palpatine didn't do it for you?
Limited power. Yes.
I could have brought him to the good
He's just a little old muffin. I just want to hold him.
I could change him. Thank you. There's your typical woman quote for the night.
Johnny, what's going to wrap up your draft?
God, there's so many movies I want to pick, but I guess I will stick with. I love action movies growing up. And, I grew up watching a lot of Chinese martial arts movies. So comes to my surprise when Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon gets into the big screen for the first time. That movie is very, it's just beautiful. And just being able to watch something like that. Because at that point, I've just been watching everything on my VCR, little small TV. So to see something that grand for the first time, it still holds a great memory in my brain here. So Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Nice.
That's
Very
a
good
great
choice.
I feel like after that movie came out, anytime there was flying martial arts, it was they're doing the Crouching Tiger thing.
Yeah.
It was it stamped. It was the first one to really do that. And it just became such a part of the way we talk about these types of movies.
It's the first one to break
It's
through.
like the Matrix. It changed the way that they make movies and the way that you see stuff, and a big impact on filmmaking. So that's a really good choice.
Solid. Yeah. Again, another great draft. The Godfather, There Will Be Blood, Whiplash, and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Ooh.
Just 4 heaters. I love all those movies. So I think it's a great pick.
Johnny has a type.
Yes, he does. And I'm feeling torn right now because I'm trying to, go with my head or my heart, but I have to be true to myself. Matt, apologies up front. I told him if I could, I was going to draft Star Wars, and I really want to, but I have to be true to myself, and I have to go with just one of my favorite movies of all time from 1943. I'm going with Casablanca, Best Picture winner.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine.
It might alienate the crowd. I might lose some votes, because people don't like that movie or whatever. I think the only way you don't like Casablanca is if you haven't seen it. But yeah, I love this movie. I highly recommend it to every single person on the planet. So I'm going to close mine out there with Casablanca.
I would have left the recording studio if you did not pick Casablanca.
I mean,
I have money on that in Vegas. I got someone to take that bet from me.
Have you split that with me?
Holy shit, he's whole whiskey bottle deep. I see it.
That's right.
Matt, I appreciate the play on words here quite a bit. Yeah. So yeah, Goodfellas, Parasite, Inglourious Bastards, and Casablanca. I'm very happy. I don't know if I have the greatest movies, but I have my favorites for sure. So
I think you have the most winners, actual winners.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. Parasite,
most of us didn't pick winners. Yeah.
All of mine except one were winners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's like,
true.
yeah. Okay. Never
winners,
mind.
Yeah.
Because that's all I wrote down.
Nothing but the best,
I only
guys.
want the best
That's
ones,
right.
yep.
If you're not first, you're last.
Exactly. Remember that, Ricky Bobby. Chris, how are you going to close yours out?
All right, so I'm going to close this out. I figured I'd be able to get it in the last round, and I'm happy I did. I'm going with a heart pick here. It isn't... I have a list of almost 30 movies here. It's probably one of the worst ones on this list. It's not a good pick. It is, however, the first movie of the best franchise of all time, and I am going with 1977 Star Wars A New Hope.
Okay.
Nominated.
There it is.
Did not win. The only
There.
Star Wars movie that will ever be nominated for Best Picture. It's sort of boring. It's no, okay.
It was a
sort of
different
boring.
time, all right? It was a different time.
Sort of
That's
boring.
right, I'm old.
It's not the best Star Wars movie. I don't even know if it's in the top 5 best Star Wars movies.
Shots fired.
However, I love Star Wars as a franchise more than any other franchise. I'm a huge fucking Star Wars nerd.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to go with that.
Mos Eisley Spaceport. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
I feel better now having not picked it, man.
I almost
Me
shit
too.
my pants when you mentioned Star Wars and said I'm not picking. I'm thank God.
Just shut down your computer. Nope, I'm done. I'm leaving.
Out the fucking window.
I approve this pick.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. Yeah, like you said, if nothing else, it set up one of the arguably best franchises of all time. So I think it's solid. So let's see: Saving Private Ryan, Return of the King, Silver Linings Playbook, and Star Wars. I mean, again, I think everyone's draft is really, really good. I'm excited to see how this plays out with everybody.
I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt.
All right, Ethan, you kicked us off, and you're gonna wrap us up.
Yeah.
What's it gonna be?
This is an interesting predicament as you get to the last round. Do you go with your head? Do you go with your heart? How do you go for the votes? Do you go for what is going to make you able to sleep at night? So I value my sleep, so I'd like to sleep tonight knowing I picked something with my heart. Even though there are just plenty of absolute fan favorites still left on the board, there's some really good stuff out there. I was thinking about going with Mad Max Fury Road. I'm not going with that. Would have been a good one. I am instead, Ben, you know this. Tyler, you know this. You know what I'm going with. I feel like very much like Ben in this situation. I've got to go with my favorite movie of all time, and it's going to be really divisive because it's had one of the most dramatic moments in Oscar fucking history. For this reaction. It's going to be La La Land because I love this movie. Look, it was nominated it won 6 Oscars. I believe it was nominated for 10, and it is just, I mean, that is on purpose. That is not an accident to get nominated for 10 Oscars. No matter how you feel about musicals or Ryan Gosling or white people being in movies about jazz, it's a pretty good movie all the way around, regardless of the Moonlight fiasco that we did have.
God, that was awful.
If I left Ryan Gosling on the board, I would have just hated myself. And if I didn't choose one of my favorite movies of all time, I also would have hated myself. So it's gotta be La La Land, and I feel pretty damn good about that. I'll be honest.
I mean, yeah, I think it's
Ethan. I love musicals and La La Land, so.
Oh, thank you so much.
I also support your choice.
You might have a vote, Amanda. Who knows? Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
But,
not if he's up against me. I vote for myself.
Oh, yeah, very true. Good point.
As Canadians, Forrester and I are always happy when Ryan Gosling is doing well.
Love to see it.
Getting love.
Love it.
And we're also too polite to say I don't like musicals.
I love musicals.
Actually, that's not true. It's hit and miss, but I don't love them objectively. Like I can't just walk in and be like, "Oh, it's a musical. I like that."
What about Hamilton?
You legally can't hate Hamilton. But
I was gonna say
it's actually not allowed.
It's against the law.
West Side Story is overrated, though.
Oh, all right.
An A24 movie wins over La La Land.
The old one.
Oh, okay.
And Ansel Elgort's a piece of wet cardboard, so who gives a fuck?
Chris has some very strong opinions on this. Yeah.
That's great.
Wet cardboard.
Maybe we need to do a musicals episode where you revisit some stuff. I'll help you out.
I love that.
Perfect.
That'd be awesome. Ethan, wrapping it up. Social Network, Pulp Fiction, Wolf of Wall Street, and La La Land. You guys, I'm really happy with everyone's picks. I think this is awesome. I don't think we have like a weak one here. These are all great selections.
I knew it should have been
Ben-Hur. See what the votes say.
No Citizen Kane? Nobody picked Citizen Kane?
No Citizen Kane.
Have you guys ever watched Citizen Kane?
No, that's why.
It's
of a different. But I watched Mank, which is about Citizen Kane. That's pretty much the same thing, right? I got the gist of the movie.
It's like watching The Disaster Artist.
Yeah, exactly, it's the same thing. Yeah, totally in line.
I'm glad nobody picked E.T. because I was going to pick that over American Pie, and then I was like,
sucks.
It was on my list.
Whoa!
Hold on.
Jesus Christ!
I feel the need to step in
I'm
here.
coming in swinging.
You have to say
Canadian.
You have to say the full title, E.T. Extraterrestrial, because I was like, I think E.T. is still up for grabs, like as a film name.
Yeah.
They had to add that little tagline, so I'm like, just scoop that up. That's mine now.
Take E.T. Yeah,
I'm calling dibs. They haven't done E.T. yet.
I mean, so many good like honorable mentions that none of us got to. I know for myself, I was thinking about Fury Road. And 12 Angry Men. I really enjoy those movies. And then one we're going to be covering soon, Michael Clayton, near and dear to my heart. I love that movie.
Good one.
Such an underrated movie. That movie is excellent.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
Get Out, Black Panther, Inception. Like
I wanted Gladiator. Come on,
like I was thinking about The Fugitive. The Fugitive in '93, probably the greatest action movie of the '90s. So
actually, U.S. Marshals, the follow up to that, also really good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It's a really good sequel for sure. Yeah.
Crash was another one that I had almost picked, and then I didn't.
The Departed.
I know it's controversial, but I still like it.
Platoon.
The Departed for sure. The one that Scorsese actually won for. Like we picked all around the actual winner.
That was up there, but I felt
the most Bostonist movie of all time.
Yeah, for real.
Maybe not.
The Town would like a word with you.
Yeah,
I love The Town.
Sounds great.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Chris, was that you that said E.T. sucks?
Yeah, I think E.T.'s a bad movie.
Okay, I think you're a bad movie.
That's fine. I'm straight to DVD, baby.
Straight to DVD.
How old are you? Like 25? No wonder you don't like
28.
18.
Thank you very much.
Jesus Christ.
28. No, I think E.T.'s a.
I was alive when E.T. came out, just so everybody knows. When did you were?
So it helps. I don't know.
When did it come out?
A while ago.
82.
Yeah.
82.
I wasn't alive.
Yeah.
I was barely alive, but I was alive.
I was coming around next year. You know, I heard about ET. I'm like, all right, let's get down there. Let's see what's going on. Man, I honestly think we could have gone 8 rounds. There were so many honorable mentions that we left on the table.
Yeah.
But I think this was a solid draft. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm excited to get these out there and see what the people think, get the votes going. I do want to give all of you one more chance to kind of like plug your pods and everything. Ethan, I'm going to kick it off with you.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate being on the pod. This was honestly a blast. I always love doing movie drafts. I do them all the time on my podcast, and I don't think I've ever won. So here's fingers crossed for the big W finally.
This is The Departed for you. This is
like this is it. This is it, baby. This is going to be the one. Yeah, go check me out on Twitter at 15 Minute Marvel and on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, 15 Minutes of Marvel. Also, go check out at 24 Minutes of A24. That's the podcast that Ben and I do. Same thing, Apple and Spotify, wherever you get your shows. And follow me on Twitter at Ethan Simi. I tweet really good stuff. So you should
really good stuff. We'll get everyone's links in there for sure. Johnny, do you want to plug your pod?
Yeah, if you guys want to check us out, we're Film Lovers Guide to the Galaxy. We can do it all your socials, FLGTTG. If you want to follow me personally on Twitter, Instagram, it's at JNO11, JNGO11. Normally I just talk movies or sports. That's nice. all I got.
That's all there is. I love it.
And after my own heart.
Chris, since you're the voice of the pod here, since you're the host and not the co-host, I'll let you do the honors.
I'm the voice, but Forrester's the heart.
Yeah.
Aww.
And
I
like
he has the classy outfit.
Yeah, it's true. He did show up.
True.
Yeah.
He's apparently
he's also the appendix. He's the appendix of the podcast. We keep him around, but he's not that useful.
And he didn't say E.T. sucks.
That's true.
That is very true.
Like, I'm a big Reese's Pieces guy. I can't deny that.
I love Reese's. Anyway, we're getting off topic. So Forrester and I were the hosts of Cinema Swap, like I said earlier, basically to really drum up movies. We swap stuff between other movies, recast old movies with new actors. We're at Cinema Swap on all the socials, spelt like it sounds. So if you can spell words, you're all set.
You're good to go.
Our personal social media handles, they're in our show notes and shit. I won't plug that on here. But yeah, if you like talking about old movies and talking about new movies and old movies at the same time, we're the show for you. We try to be funny. We have some really fun guests on sometimes. I'm sure we'll have you guys on for some future episodes as well. It's just a good time. And we sometimes drink beer while we're recording, which I don't think comes through in the recording.
Man.
But yeah.
Well, I think it's a perfect segue to Amanda.
Oh, yeah. Well, my glass is empty now. So
nice. We timed it perfect.
I did.
It's a good episode then.
Okay, so yes, I am the host of the Sip List. So we drink wine or other alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverages, no pressure. I drink wine and talk about wine, and then we do top 5 countdowns of anything and everything that you can think of.
Nice.
But mostly, like I said, pop culture stuff, movies. I would say the bulk of it is movies and TV shows and music. So
perfect.
Nice.
I like it.
Yeah, and I invite everyone except Chris to be on my show.
Perfect. So I'll go on as the only one specifically not invited to the show.
Top 5 children's Spielberg movies.
Top 5 movies Chris doesn't like.
Yeah, that's a movie for adults too. I still cry.
True.
I got 2 Spielbergs in my list. I'm down.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't know. I grew up with 80s cinematography, so I guess to me it's still cool, but I can see where you're coming from, Mr. I'm 15 years younger than you.
You know what? If I watch it again, I might like it. I just remember watching it as a kid and being like, not for me.
Yeah.
I just did not like it when I saw it the first time, and I don't think it'll ever come up again for me.
I remember liking it and also simultaneously being horrified by the ET puppet. Like, that thing, for whatever reason, just haunted my nightmares. I watched a lot of horrible stuff. I've been watching Raiders since I was like 5. That one, E.T., just the weird. I was like, oh.
Especially when he's dying and he's all gray.
That was the one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was the only moment where I was like, oh, thank God he can die.
My
It's
first,
on those souls.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
my first experience with ET was we were watching it, and all of a sudden fire trucks were coming down the street, and like 3 houses down, the house was on fire. And so we're like, I'm like a kid, and we just paused at like a really weird part. And then all of a sudden, like, there's this house on fire. It's like, we should never watch this movie again. It's like, this is just bad luck. We can't do this anymore. But somehow I made it through and watched it again eventually. So
yeah, like, I don't want ET to die. I just need to know that he can.
You know, he's I want to know that I can kill him if I need to. Well, thank you all again for coming on. I want to have all of you back. We normally do a clubhouse segment. We have first time guests where we ask you guys some questions. So we'll do that. We want to have all of you come back on for sure. Thank you again for your time. For Tyler and I, this is 3 Films in a Podcast. You can find us everywhere at 3 Films Pod or 3filmspod.com. Thank you for your support, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
I'm sorry. No. There's a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Moonlight won. Come on, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. I'm afraid they read the wrong thing.
This is not a joke. Moonlight has won Best Picture. Moonlight, Best Picture.